Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bad Catholic Movie and TV Notes. I'm Mark, the Bad Catholic. I thought that we'd take a brief note of one of my Christmas presents, the Final Countdown, the Blu ray issued by Blue Underground. This movie was released in 1980. It stars Kirk Douglas, Martin Sheen, James Ferrantino, Catherine Ross, and Charles Durning. In 1980, I was a freshman in high school. I didn't see this movie when it came out originally. I think that the first time that I saw it was either on broadcast television or on a VHS tape, but I don't remember. But I remember that I thought that it was a really cool movie back then, and I still think that it's a really cool movie. And on this Blue Underground Blu-ray, which this was released in 2008. This is from way back in 2008. The extras are citing a date of 2004. So they're all the extras are all from an earlier release. On my Samsung HD TV, this Blu-ray, this movie looks absolutely incredible. It looks like you're there on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier Nimitz. That was the big selling point of this movie. The movie was more about the Navy's hardware than it was about the story, is what some of the critics said at the time. The Final Countdown is a science fiction movie, and it's about the aircraft carrier USS Nimitz, which goes out to sea in 1980 and basically finds a black hole out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and is sucked through it and finds itself on December 6, 1941. And Kirk Douglas, as the captain of the Nimitz, has to decide whether or not to change history and use the USS Nimitz nuclear aircraft carrier to destroy the Japanese fleet and stop the attack on Pearl Harbor. It's an interesting movie. Like I said, I thought that it was really cool. I mean, this is definitely B-movie stuff, but the thing that elevates this above just some B-grade science fiction movie is the cooperation of the Navy, and that it was actually filmed aboard the Nimitz. Peter Douglas, Kirk's son, was the producer. There's an interview on here with Victor J. Kemper, who was the director of photography, and Lloyd Kaufman, who was the associate producer. Both of those are really fascinating. There's also a feature interview with the Jolly Rogers F-14 Fighter Squadron, and these were the guys who are old guys now, or old guys in 2004 when this was made, and interviewing them about flying while the movie was being made. They had reproductions. They had two reproduction Japanese Zeros that were made for and used in the movie Tora Tora Tora. And they were used in a movie, and you have in here, you have a scene of F-14s fighting Japanese prop-driven Zeros. Japanese Zeros fighting F-14s. It's way cool. These planes were flown by the Airplane Preservation Group, the Confederate Air Force, which I think they've been forced to change their name now to something else that's more politically correct, because it's not politically correct to have the Confederate Air Force anymore. But they were flown by the Confederate Air Force, and they did this scene of the F-14s dogfighting the Zeros. And I understand that there were some problems with that, that the sonic boom and things from the jets just about blew the canopy off those old prop-driven fighter planes, and they almost had had some problems with that. But this is just absolutely way cool. Apparently, the Navy was sent a copy of the script by Peter Douglas, and the selling point was that Kirk Douglas was in the movie, and Kirk Douglas was such a respected actor at the time, back in the late 70s, um, early 80s. Kirk Douglas was such a respected actor that sold the Navy on the movie, and the Navy allowed the movie to be filmed actually aboard the Nimitz. They filmed the interiors while the Nimitz was docked. But they actually filmed a bunch of stuff at sea, and they just got to, while they were out on maneuvers, and they filmed a whole bunch of stuff with the ship at general quarters and the airplanes taking off and landing. They did have a plane that had to come in an emergency situation, and they got permission to film that, and it's in the movie. The plane, the F-14 coming in, having to be caught by the net. That's in the movie. They mounted a camera on a F-14, and that's how the aerial photography was done. So you got a lot of photography of F-14s, a lot of shots of the Nimitz. That's the real selling point of the movie. So it's almost like a travelogue of being able to see all these incredible shots of the Nimitz. And in HD on this Blu-ray, it just jumps out at you. It's next best thing to be in there. But it's also a cool movie. There's some really good performances in this. Kirk Douglas is great as always. Martin Sheen was just coming off Apocalypse Now. He just had his infamous heart attack after Apocalypse Now, and in the commentary it talks about that Martin Sheen had to go get exercise because had to go work out because of his heart attack, and that he would have to stop and go do that. That he also had to go from this to do the voiceovers for Apocalypse Now. How cool is that? Catherine Ross is really good. Charles Durning as a politician, he's good. James Farentino is good. I think all the way around it's just an awesome movie. The Final Countdown from 1980 on Blu-ray from Blue Underground. It's take it from the old guy. It's way cool. Check it out. See y'all later. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye now.